you find yourself lost in Irvingland. She's not lost, she's just snoozing behind her chair. She does that. Last time, Dr. Smith wasn't going to get any food until he did some actual work collecting ore for the ship's necessities. As always, he'll do it, but he won't like it.
A man of my quality being forced into hard labor, indeed.
Dr. Smith, I brought you my dessert.
Oh, bless you, my boy, bless you. Lovely, delicious. You could have brought some coffee too, you know.
And being Dr. Smith, he'll always expect more than whatever someone does for him out of the goodness of their hearts. That happens when you lack a heart of your own.
Some kind of spaceship.
We're being invaded.
It's not an invasion, it's a message. Space people want to be sure they have your attention, so they use lots of explosions and other big noises.
Hear this. Hear this, Zeno. This is Space Enforcer Claudius.
He says his name is Claudius, but at least once we'll hear someone call him Claudio. The Space Enforcer doesn't earn much, so if you offer him food, you can call him whatever you want.
I know that you fled to this planet, and I have zeroed in on your hiding place. I am coming in for a landing near you. Surrender, and I guarantee you a fair trial. Refuse, and you die. Remember, the reward for your capture is the same. Be you alive or be you dead.
I'll grind your bones to make my... Wait, that was something else.
Your days as a super swift are over, Zeno.
And what is a super swift? I thought that was the name of that little mop we bought for cleaning up oopses in the kitchen.
What's a super swift, Dr. Smith?
A super swift is one who can draw and fire his space weapon in the blinking of an eye.
What we'd have called a quick draw artist in the American West. I do wonder when Dr. Smith got his hands on an interplanetary dictionary to find that out.
We are doomed.
Why should this Zeno want to hurt us?
A super swift doesn't need a reason to kill. He kills for fame and glory, and that's the worst kind of a killer. To think that I must die to perpetuate the reputation of an arch annihilator like Zeno.
I'm not sure how much glory there is in killing someone like Dr. Smith, but okay then. And naturally, Dr. Smith has to be the one Zeno is after, even though 10 seconds ago Dr. Smith never heard of Zeno.
I can hear the flutter of black wings. Even now I can feel Zeno's cold breath blowing down my neck. Come along, my boy. Let's get back to the safety of the spaceship.
You forgot to say, oh, the awesome agony of it all. By this time, you've noticed something interesting about Zeno. Among other things, he's wearing a typical American Western outfit, at least as conceived by Hollywood, and he has 2 low-slung pistols on his hips. Pistols that look remarkably like Colt 6-shooters vintage 1876, the kind that Wyatt Earp most likely used at the OK Corral. I'm not going to try and guess where he got them, or the outfit, or anything else, or why space needs someone like a super swift in the first place. This isn't about American history. This is about Jonathan Harris getting to play 2 parts, nothing more. Having said that, Dr. Smith heard the magic word.
Inasmuch as we were here first, and if we hope to catch him, I see no reason whatsoever why we shouldn't share in the reward. Do you, William?
Dr. Smith, Zeno isn't even captured yet.
Never fear, Smith is here. Zeno is as good as hanged.
Or maybe he's not as good as hanged, especially when we find out what he has in mind. And if you haven't figured it out already, tisk on you.
Good heavens. It's incredible. It's fantastic. You look almost like me. I look exactly like you.
And now I think Dr. Smith has some idea about Zeno's intentions too.
We're gonna change clothes. You're gonna be Zeno, and I'm gonna be Dr. Smith. Like the idea? Decidedly not. Why not, pussycat?
One of the tells about which is which is Zeno likes to call people pussycat. Dr. Smith isn't quite that refined. It didn't take Will long to notice that Dr. Smith was missing. Fortunately, the Space Enforcer has landed, so Will can enlist his help.
Can't we go look for Dr. Smith? Zeno must have captured him.
Now, don't you worry none, son. If Zeno kills your friend, it'll go hard on him. I promise you.
I'm sure that's a great comfort to Dr. Smith.
Can't you do something?
Why, of course. Now hit. 1, 2, 3, testing. Now hear this, Zeno, hear this. I'm giving you just 25 minutes to give yourself up, or I'm coming after you.
25? Why 25 minutes?
Well, I gotta finish my story.
Will can enlist his help eventually. Spoiler, Claudius is as useful as a flat tire. Zeno is almost ready for the next step in his plan.
Now take this gun and be careful. It's got a very delicate trigger.
I wouldn't touch it. I'm not a murderer.
Neither am I. I never killed anyone that didn't try to kill me first. Mostly ambitious amateurs, jealous of my reputation.
That wasn't as much of an issue as Hollywood made it out to be, but it did happen. The truth is, stand-up gunfights of the quick-draw kind were few and far between. Most were part gunfight, part ambush, and a lot of them ended with both parties going home untouched because they both missed and decided it wasn't worth pursuing any further.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. I surrender.
But that is Dr. Smith's voice.
It's Zeno's voice. I've heard it before.
I surrender.
That is Dr. Smith. Where'd you get the clothes, Dr. Smith?
I'm not Dr. Smith, you little dumbbell. I'm Zeno. I confess to everything. I surrender. Now, please get me into that spaceship.
Okay, Claudius, is this in character for Zeno? He doesn't care. He's bagged his big game.
Get me into
You
that
heard him
spaceship.
confess, didn't you, Will?
Yeah, but I don't understand. He looks
Never
like
mind.
Dr.
Come
Smith.
on.
No, me first. Me first. No.
What are you arresting me for?
I'm holding you as a material witness to Zeno's confession. Now, come on, get
My
in there.
folks are worried. You're gonna have to let me go.
Now, come on, get in there.
That's going a little too far. He's kidnapping a child. I haven't seen any of the interplanetary law books, but I would hope they have something to say about that. Now that we have thin strips of cellophane to keep our air in and the void of space out, Dr. Smith is ready to drop the charade.
Will, tell him who I am. Speak up, dear boy. Tell him.
I wish I knew.
What do you mean you wish you knew? I know your name, don't I? Would Zeno know your name?
You only called me Will after you heard the enforcer call me that. When you came up to the spaceship, you just called me a little dumbbell.
Well, if that's not something Dr. Smith would say, I don't know what is. In fact, it's kind of tame compared to some of the things he's called you.
Look at that.
But that's a doppelganger. A double. Haven't you ever heard of a double? That's what Zeno is to me.
So then, if Claudius goes back and gets the other guy too, does he get 2 rewards?
Don't listen to him, son. He's Zeno, all right. I never make a mistake.
I believe you're mistaken about that.
Is Zeno a physicist? Is he a mathematician? Could he explain to you the difference between integral and differential calculus? Well, I can.
I'm sure you can, Zeno, because I also happen to know that you were a brilliant mathematician before you went wrong.
Good grief, maybe he is Zeno and doesn't realize it. But then who's that other guy?
Please, Mr. Enforcer, you promised you send a message to my folks.
Now that we're on course, I'll take care of it immediately, son.
Just when will you return me to my parents, sir?
Probably never. Oh, the pain. The pain.
Ask yourself, Will, is that something a deadly super swift would say, or is it something a cowardly stowaway with an aversion to work would say?
I relay a message received from Space Enforcer Claudius en route to his home planet.
What about it?
He has Will in custody.
He has Will. But why?
As a material witness against Zeno, notorious space killer. He promised to return Will after the trial and execution of Zeno.
What could Will have witnessed? That doesn't make sense.
Affirmative. It does not make sense.
It's about to make even less sense, but first we have to peek in on Mr. I Never Make a Mistake.
Cassiopeia. I think that's Cassiopeia.
Cassiopeia is a constellation in the northern sky on Earth. It's 5 stars in the shape of a W, and you don't need a telescope to see it, not even a pathetic little toy like that thing. So much for never making a mistake. Speaking of making mistakes, Zeno isn't doing a very good job of being Dr. Smith.
That does not compute.
What does not compute?
You do not compute. Dr. Smith does not smoke.
The only time Dr. Smith smokes is when he's running away from work so fast his butt catches on fire.
You are wearing a pistol.
I found it out near Black Rock Canyon. I put it on for self-protection.
That does not compute either. Dr. Smith is afraid of firearms.
Zeno needs to tap into his inner wuss if he wants to pass as Dr. Smith. He's not willing to do that.
Now look, you silly-looking bucket of bolts. Quit arguing and point me towards home. I'm lost.
This trail is well marked. Even Dr. Smith would not be lost. I must warn the others there is a dangerous alien among us.
I don't think you better do that, pussycat.
When you put it that way, but I think he's starting to realize he's going to have to do some fast talking to pull this off.
You know, you're right about there being something peculiar about me. It's all coming back to me now. I got separated from Will Robinson, and then I encountered this super swift.
His name is Zeno.
I know his name. I'm trying to emphasize the fact that he's a super swift, pussycat.
He hit me on the head with his pistol and everything went black. I'm still a little fuzzy-minded. Now tell me about all the others on this planet so's I'll remember 'em when I meet 'em again.
Dr. Smith is doing an even worse impression of Zeno, but Space Enforcer Claudius never makes a mistake. And Will is thoroughly confused, so he doesn't know what to believe.
Tell me you're making a landing so soon. I shall not allow it. You must let me radio ahead for legal counsel to represent me at the trial.
I just received a directive from headquarters. Inasmuch as I have a witness to your confession, there will be no trial.
Between this and that trial they put the Robinsons through, I have come to the conclusion that the intergalactic law system sucks rocks.
Oh, no, you don't. It's not fair. I'm an innocent man.
Watch that! Stop that! You'll crash the ship!
I'm sorry, I'm not denying.
Dr. Smith agrees. Does that mean I have to reverse my opinion? Claudius is unconscious. Dr. Smith takes the opportunity to grab Zeno's gun and the keys and get out of there.
Well, William, what do you think? Do you think she'll fly again?
Well, she's dented and banged up a little, but I don't see why she shouldn't lift off.
So take Claudius out there, prop him up against a nice soft rock to sleep it off, and go home. Dawdling is not advisable. I told you not to dawdle.
Zeno! Don't shoot, Zeno. Please, don't shoot. Please don't kill us, Zeno. We wouldn't inform on you. We're your friends.
They're scared to death.
Scat! Scat!
Mickey Manners was a stand-up comedian and part-time actor. That frantic demeanor was his bit. By the time I was in my teens, he was mainly doing the game show circuit, and he was always fun to watch.
Well, there you are, my boy. No one will dare to touch you when you're with the great Zeno.
Okay, who had under 10 seconds before it went to his head? All right, we have a winner. There's a town nearby, and Mickey just announced that Zeno is back. My mistake. It's not a town, it's a set for a production of Oklahoma. Why are they even doing this? They should be taking their ship back to their adopted planet. Instead, he struts into the saloon. You may have noticed that he's walking bow-legged like he sat on a corn cob. What's he drinking?
Hiker of the seven-headed dragon of Pluto. Essence of space viper venom. Elixir of the purple draconian spider. Powder tooth of the triple-tailed Taurian bandersnatch.
What a lightweight. Nothing but frumious bandersnatch for me.
I am Zeno, the kid from Cassiopeia. I was whelped by a space wolf and raised by a she-tiger in a den of centurion crocodiles. I can outfight, out-wrestle, and outshoot any galoot in the galaxy.
Somebody pop a balloon behind him and see what happens.
Aye! Complete is Pete, the scourge of outer space.
I'm the swiftest super swift that ever blasted up a whole galaxy.
Even better, a challenger. He's Pleiades Pete the Purple Pistolier, and he's ready for action. He wants to kill somebody. Who'll engage him in a pistol duel?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pete won't be out for long, so now is a good time to get out of here.
Dr. Smith, help me up here.
What? Certainly not. What are you doing?
These seem to be some kind of electronically powered animals. We can get away on them.
Presumably they can roll faster than Claudius can run. Assuming he ever manages to run.
Do you think you can drive this thing, Will?
I'm pretty sure I can. But wouldn't that be another super crime, stealing a Space Enforcer ship?
If I stay here, I'll be hanged, boiled, and oiled, and thrown into a pit of space vipers. Blast off, I tell you!
And now he's got no wheels. Rockets, a spaceship.
Go hard on you, Zeno. Give me the keys to your spacecraft. I'm going after him.
Watch it. It slips a little in second stage.
If it's a stick shift, Claudius is hosed. Meanwhile, back at the Jupiter 2.
Penny, I thought you were going to help with the dinner dishes.
Oh, well, Dr. Smith was just teaching me to play galactic poker.
He taught her very well. She's taking him to the cleaners. He's also getting a little creepy.
Ah, Judy, baby.
Dr. Smith, I wish you'd stop looking at me like that.
I was thinking what a feasible facial structure you have, Judy, baby.
Whatever that means.
What I mean is, I once saw the temple of Aphrodite on the planet Apollo.
Since he's supposed to be Dr. Smith, we'll assume he hitched a ride there on a passing spaceship while you guys were occupied with something else, and he got back before you noticed he was gone and not just hiding from work. He's Dr. Smith. He can do that.
Compared to you.
I wish you'd go away. You've been acting very strange lately, Dr. Smith.
Don comes along just in time to keep it from getting really weird. The fact that he's acting totally out of character and none of them are suspicious is kind of losing me.
Smith, how about giving us a hand?
Sorry.
Never mind being sorry. Just walk that old cart over to the smelter.
Not in my line.
Okay, that sounds more like Dr. Smith.
Just what is your line, you senile delinquent?
What did you call me?
A senile delinquent. Any objections?
Yeah. Just this. One more step or I'll blast you.
What's the idea of drawing a gun?
Why are you letting him walk around wearing a gun? Since when does Dr. Smith do that? What is wrong with you people?
Will you forgive me, dear boy?
Oh, beat it, Smith. You make me sick.
Don't give it back to him, you nitwit. You unloaded it, but do you see all those cartridges in his belt? He has the ability to reload it. What you want to do is dismantle it and scatter the pieces all over the planet. Then let him go look for them.
How do you figure that?
Who knows?
Well, the way he talked, the way he pulled that gun, all of a sudden I had a feeling it wasn't even Smith at all.
Well, maybe you're right. On the other hand, he might have a concussion. Either way, he got out of work, didn't he?
Yeah, that he did.
How would a concussion make him start carrying a gun and an antique revolver at that? You guys are cutting him way too much slack. I foresee him wrapping it around your neck and strangling you with it. Will and whichever one it is have landed with the Enforcer close behind.
It's Zeno, the space killer. Save me, save me.
That's a lie. He's Zeno. I'm Dr. Smith.
Gosh, two Dr. Smiths.
And that's too many.
Claudius lands and disarms both of them. Time to sort this out.
My own personal knowledge of this man convinces me that he's tricky, evasive, unreliable, and utterly incapable of speaking the truth.
Well, now that describes Smith to a T. But the trouble is, it also fits him. So I guess we're not getting anywhere, are we?
Listen to their voices, meatheads. Claudius likes to say he knows Zeno's voice, but I think he may be overestimating the level of his knowledge.
Lunch is ready.
And high time, too, my dear.
You too, Dr. Smith, or whoever you are.
My dear girl, how can you talk about food when my life hangs in the balance? Lunch indeed.
Well, he has to be Zeno. Dr. Smith would eat on his way to the guillotine.
There you have your answer. Take him away, Mr. Enforcer. But it's not good enough for him. He's decided to take them both in and subject them to a trial by ordeal, as he calls it.
It's a scientific application of the rack and the thumb screw.
In other words, trial by torture, right?
I'm sorry, but that's the law of the Space Federation.
That does not compute. That is illegal.
That robot thinks he knows intergalactic law better than Space Enforcer Claudius does.
What do you know about it? Are you a space lawyer?
I have been programmed with the Galactic Legal Code.
And he's right. I have a feeling Verta gave him a few upgrades.
Well, I only have one alternative left to me. Trial by combat.
Well, how does that work?
Well, the two suspects fight a duel with pistols under regulations set down by the Space Federation.
And what'll that prove?
Well, since Zeno is the fastest super swift in the galaxy, he's bound to win. Him, I will take into custody.
No. That means an innocent man will be killed.
Sorry, but that's the law of the Space Federation.
Then the Space Federation needs a good hard kick in the slats. The punishments he mentioned to Dr. Smith on the ship were hanging, being thrown into a pit of space vipers, and being boiled in oil. This federation has achieved intergalactic space travel, and their laws are as barbaric as medieval Europe. The Robinsons need to declare this planet off limits to them, a sovereign world out of their jurisdiction. They can call it Smithtopia, or maybe Zacharia. No, that sounds like an intestinal disease. Let's see.
Well, I can't let you go through with that. What you're proposing is nothing less than cold-blooded murder.
Are you interfering with a space official in the line of duty?
If you wish to put it that way.
In that case, you're under arrest, too.
Then you'll have to take me, too.
Oh, come on.
Mr. Enforcer! Mr. Enforcer, they're getting away!
Not very fast they aren't, at least not until Zeno gets out of the rope.
He's trying to steal your ship!
Where's Smith?
Here he is. Are you all right, sir?
All right, indeed.
Sick transit, Zeno and Claudia, it doesn't matter. On to the cliffhanger. Dr. Smith, Will, and the robot are out bird watching.
Oh, dear, we've lost it.
Dr. Smith?
Yes?
What's that?
It looks like a lyre. It's a musical instrument.
Anyone can see it's only a...
It's a musical instrument that explodes when you play it badly.
Oh, no! Don't be! Kindly, noble Zachary Smith should end up in this infernal place. It's not fair. Oh, dear.
That lyre really took exception to how you played it.
Well, Zachary, so you finally got here.
Good heavens.
Guess again?
We'll pick that up in due time. I want to know if there's a whole subset of civilization out there that's got an American Western theme going, because I'm having a lot of trouble reconciling spaceships and six-shooters. Is it a cosplay thing? If it is, gunfights with real bullets may be taking it a little too far. But we know what's going on. The show was getting goofier as we went along, and no script was too outlandish to be considered. Jonathan Harris said this was his favorite episode because he got to be two people and play off himself a little. Best I could tell, we didn't do any actual split screen. We used doubles with their backs turned, but it was effective, and I can see why he had so much fun. As for Alan Melvin, who played Claudio, if I were to try and discuss a little bit of his career, we'd be here all day. Just looking at the voice work listed in his IMDb profile makes me wonder if he somehow learned to live without sleep. Check it out, his list of credits is mind-boggling. So next week we're going to, Hades, whatever euphemism you want to use. As the show got campier and campier, some viewers thought they were already there. I'll see you next time you find yourself lost in Irvingland.